Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whenever the fuck you're watching this episode. This is episode 6-9. Be a fucking adult and say that number. 6-9 of Backyard Blitz, brought to you by Backyard Sports. We got the gang. We got the new template. We've got guests coming in a little bit later that I'm going to talk about. But right now, we're talking fucking sports. As you can see, we're all in it. I'm in the fucking RV. I got the robe on some Cousin Eddie shit because the shitter's full. You heard me? Santa's little helper over here looking like somebody who definitely does not belong within 1,000 feet of a playground. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. This fucking beard is killing me, so
yeah, I think
fair warning.
It's all of us and the children of the world a favor and take that shit off. Andy Flint rocking that Bill fucking Murray fucking beard gang on fleek as
Gary. Nobody's
How are
sitting
you, my
on
man?
that lap. Nobody is sitting on that lap, Gary.
Nobody, dude.
Stay back.
I'll put it to you like this: nobody
already captured Baby Yoda back there.
Hey, God, just that fucking thing makes me melt. Big Stove, my man's rocking. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. He's got the Yule log, the beautiful tree. He's got the Elf on the Shelf book. He's got the perfect back setting for a Christmas special episode. How are you, my man?
Doing good, boys. Doing good. How are you guys doing?
Man, I'm out here, dude. This is crazy. This
Christmas
is cool.
Eve tomorrow. Christmas Eve tomorrow, baby.
Yeah, we're almost done with 2020, fellas. Like we've almost made it through. We've almost made it through. I am so pumped. It is both cool and terrifying at the same time because I feel like just the 11th hour, something's gonna happen, right? Something's gonna happen. I watched the news last night. They're talking about some COVID-20. They're talking about some COVID-20 shit happening in the UK right now that's 70% more fucking contagious than COVID-19. Dog, I'm just not ready for this. But I'll tell you what I am ready for. And that is to talk about this fucking NFL schedule because there's plenty of shit to talk about. And obviously, football is our jam. And then we were blessed with an appearance of the NBA. Okay. Yesterday, first game of the season. It was nice. It was nice. I'm sure Andy and Stove are in a great place enjoying the NBA season, making a valiant return. I know there was some conversation about, the Warriors with and without Clay, so on and so forth. I'm curious to get into that myself. But let's start with the NFL. Thursday night football, December 17th. We got the Chargers versus the Raiders. Chargers pulling it off in overtime, 30-27. I'm just going to go right across. I'm assuming the screen in front of me is similar to what we're seeing online. So, Stove, we're going to go over to you. What are your takeaways from this Justin Herbert performance on top of, kind of a shaky Raiders season where, like, some days they've been lights out football, other times they've struggled to make shit happen. What are your thoughts?
We've been talking about for the past few episodes, and the Raiders are who we thought they are, and that is a mediocre team. We don't know week in, week out who we're going to get. You have Jacobs back there. You have Carr. You have the tight end, Waller. And then you got a speedy wide receiver that they got in the first round. And, they play the Chiefs to a T, and come up short. But then you play the Chargers. You play all these mediocre teams that on paper and, maybe even in games are less talented than you and everything else, but yet they're playing to their level. They're playing to their opponent's level, and in the end, it's biting them in the ass, and they're losing these games that they should not be losing. But like we've talked about in the past couple episodes, you don't know who you're going to get with the Las Vegas Raiders.
So you would say it's a gamble?
I think it's a good gamble.
You're gambling on Vegas. I like that. I see where you went, and I like it. Christian Babcock, real quick, to just go right off the bat and call your boy out. Coach Flint says, I'd beat you in golf and ball. Bet on it. You're washed up, Flint. Hey, Christian, stay in school. Learn the proper usage of the word your.
Come on, Babs.
Come on, Babs.
Oh, you beat me at ball? Come on, Babs. You're better than that.
All right, come see him in person. All right, come catch some hands in person. Settle it out on the court.
Cash me outside.
Cash him outside on
How
the
about
yard.
that?
On the fucking yard, boys.
No, this isn't prison. Relax.
Gary, Andy, what are your thoughts on the Raiders Chargers takeaway? I'm just gonna fucking speed past that. You were itching. You were itching, my man.
Yeah,
Whitney is my little helper this year.
Stove kind of said it, right? We're getting what we thought we'd get from the Raiders. They're an up and down team. They play the Chiefs, as Stove pointed out, right? They're a nightmare for the Chiefs, but they can't beat these bad teams. They needed a cover 0 on a Hail Mary to beat the Jets, and they're not ready to compete. They've got a lot of talent. I think that defense is improving as the season's gone on, but they're still kind of hit or miss. I think the Raiders are a year, maybe 2 years away. If Gruden can continue to mature this team and build it, I didn't have much confidence in him when he started with the Raiders. I thought he tore apart a Super Bowl team in Tampa Bay after Dungy built it up there. I don't necessarily buy the long term, but I think what we're seeing from the Raiders this year reminds me of a team that's about a year, maybe 2 years away. They remind me of kind of the Bills of about 2 years ago. They're on the precipice of potentially being a contender, but they keep shooting themselves in the foot, and they're a very peak and valley kind of team, and I think that's about where I think they're at right now. I don't think they have the core that the Bills had 2 years ago, but I think that's the team that they are right now reminds me of the Bills from a couple of years ago.
Well, and you're talking about Carr, and I don't know that that's your long-term guy.
That's the part where I say, like, I don't think
Right.
they are the Bills from 2 years ago, because I don't think Carr is Allen with the trajectory, right?
Well, right. Well, even before we saw Allen become brilliant this season, we could at least say he's a new quarterback. He's a first-year quarterback. He's a second-year quarterback. We can't say that about Carr anymore. Carr had that really promising start to his career. Then he's kind of dipped. Now he's kind of steadied out, and I think this is who he is. So, when you get a guy like Marcus Mariota comes in the game and kind of doesn't really take away much, that's a problem. So I don't know about the Raiders, man. Herbert's bright future, I think. We always say first-year quarterbacks are such an anomaly because either like we kill them because they suck, or they look great, but we know deep down inside the teams don't have enough film on them yet. So I don't know. For now, I like Herbert. I mean, his woman's smoking hot, unlike Mahomes, but yeah.
That's the thing we talk about all the time, right? With these rookie
constant shade.
Once the film's out there, that's when we're going to see what kind of quarterback they are, right? Once a year's worth of film, coaches have an off season. You've got a week to prepare. You don't have what you have in the off season, right? Is Herbert going to grow in year 2 and be the guy we think he could be based on this year?
I think that's a solid question. I think we can all just mutually agree that Derek Carr's time in Vegas is probably limited. Do we think? I mean,
who guy, right? I just don't think he's going to be the guy that carries your franchise. We saw him.
Okay, yeah, definitely. But who right now in the league is going to replace him?
But at the same time, though, you got to look at what they did 2 years ago and trade away their defense. I mean, it's kind of a catch-22, but I mean, you can't put it all on Derek Carr here. I mean, yes, he hasn't made some throws, he's cost them some turnovers and this and that, but at the end of the day, your offensive line hasn't performed like it should. Your defense definitely hasn't performed like it should. They're starting to perform a little bit better.
They don't have any talent out wide, though. Like,
no.
Renfro is not a stud.
No.
Ruggs has not proven to be the deep threat we thought he could be. And I know he's had some foot issues, and that slows you down, but they don't have any talent out wide. If he's not throwing to Waller, he doesn't have a lot to go. You can win with Derek Carr. I don't think that he's the guy who's going to win for you. I think you build around him, and you can build a winner like they had in Tampa with Brad Johnson, man.
Right, and I'm not putting it on Carr. I was more speaking to Gary's Bills comparison. I think that it's much harder to be optimistic at this point in Carr's career than it was at that point in Allen's career. just because he was so brand new. And Allen's come through and obviously smashed expectations this season. And you just alluded to the old school clip there, Gary. I think it's a little bit of a different league. Like, I think I don't know that you could build around a Brad Johnson today and be ultimately successful. I mean, let's look at some of the quarterbacks. Who's won the Super Bowl recently? I mean, quarterbacks that have won the Super Bowl: Brady, Mahomes, Russell Wilson, guys like that. So,
yeah,
it's tough.
QB league for sure.
I personally think, I think we all knew that Gruden was going to be taking a risk by setting himself up the way he was setting himself up. I think we talked about how many picks that we thought really needed to hit off in order for him to be successful, and then slowly we've watched again that defense. I mean, even just with the loss of Khalil Mack, we've seen a big difference, right? I think it's crazy, man. I obviously we knew it was a risky play, and obviously it's still not working out. So, but honestly, good on Justin Herbert to have the season that he's had. In spurts. He's had moments where he's been a promising young quarterback. I feel like there's good structure there, good opportunity for him to grow and be a big competitor. But I guess I'll wait and save the Jets talk and the Trevor Lawrence talk for when we get to the Jets. But let's jump into this Bills-Broncos game.
You can't trade away the best defensive player in football and expect your defense to be good, right? We crushed Bill O'Brien for trading away the best wide receiver, and we see the Texans fucking suck. So you can't trade away the best player at their position or even in an entire unit the way Khalil Mack was and expect to be better or even to fucking tread water.
It's true. It's very true. And I think obviously that was one that everybody knew. DeAndre Hopkins was a prime example of like, hey, how to tank your football team. A real life story by Bill O'Brien and Babcock looking to catch a fade before Christmas. I'm not even going to acknowledge that. Bills Broncos 48-19. Allen just throwing his whole dick out there on the field, and I'm not mad at it. I mean, kid's a fucking gunslinger. Is there any takeaways you want to cover on that? We want to move to the next game. Andy, I know that's a close one for you because you're in Bills Mafia country.
No, man. I mean, nothing really other than what we've been saying about Josh Allen all season. He's been great. The Bills look good. Your former boy Cole Beasley looks really good.
Yeah.
Diggs looks great.
I'm not mad at that.
Defense is kind of sort of starting to come around.
They're starting to
there's not a ton I'm going to take away from Saturday's win because let's face it, we all wanted to see Buffalo Green Bay on that day. Both those games kind of stunk. Denver, Carolina would have been much more each other's speed, I think. But, Bills are great. They're currently sitting at the 2 seed. If Pittsburgh continues to be Pittsburgh.
Flex opponents, right? Not games.
Right, yeah. Let's fucking hook it up, man. The flex opponents. But, I think the Bills, it's very likely the Bills stay the 2 seed. The problem, I think, with the AFC is going to be that seeding. I mean, you're not getting an easy out 2 or 3. I mean, you're probably looking at like the Colts or the Titans either way, and that's problematic. Either way. Right, I remember being like, "Oh, the Bills are going to get away with one. Maybe they'll get away from the Colts because they don't want to play the Colts." I wouldn't want to play the Colts, but then it's like, "Oh, who do they play instead? Oh, the Titans." Oh, what are you going to do? I mean,
there's defense in football.
Good teams, man. Good, and the scariest guy in football too. So it's props to the Bills. First time they've won the division since '95. I can't look at my Facebook feed without wanting to throw up from all the excessive celebration, but it is what it is. It's good for them.
Gary Free Senior. Gary Free Senior says, "Give it to him, Andy," and that is, well do. Hey, I mean, I pray for you, Babs, if Andy catches you on a basketball court or a golf course, because you're catching phase either way, and it may not just be in sport; it may be catching some hands. Tread lightly, young Padawan. Tread lightly. Panthers, Packers, to no one's real surprise. Aaron Rodgers, 24-19. I mean, whatever.
A little closer than what I think we thought it might be. Given
definitely.
the state of California or Carolina,
even at halftime too.
Yeah. I mean, it especially even that third quarter. Packers hit that lull, and they never really fully recovered from it. And so I think that's why you had the close game. But give props to where it's due, and Aaron Rodgers and Packers got the W like they should, and moving on to the next game. And
hasn't that been the story of 2020 NFL season though? Like teams get out to 17, 20, 24 point leads and then like go to sleep.
Falcons
and then stall. It's like it's like they're on this plane going straight up in the air and they stall.
It's like I watch Washington on Sundays and we go down 17-0. I'm like, oh fuck, got them right where we want them. Like what the fuck?
Goddamn Haskins, dude. So my question is Aaron Rodgers the MVP this year? I think that's a fair question. Does anybody disagree that Aaron Rodgers is not does anyone think Aaron Rodgers is not the MVP this year?
I think you have Aaron Rodgers leading it right now. And Josh Allen is creeping closer to him. And then after that, maybe Russell Westbrook or Russell Wilson.
Yeah, but I feel like Russell Westbrook is probably a more viable NFL MVP candidate than Russell Wilson.
I feel like the media is
just based on the last 4 weeks.
For Mahomes, though. Like all over NFL Network, all over ESPN, it's like Rodgers versus Mahomes, and I'm like, fuck, people are forgetting about Josh Allen. Like, get the fuck out of here. It's not a 2-horse race, and I don't even think I'm with Stove. Like, I'm not sure Mahomes is really having the season I would say he's the MVP, man. Like, he's been great, but the Chiefs haven't been great. They're fucking 12-1, and they're holding on by a thread, or 13-1. They're holding on by a thread in a lot of these games, winning by a fucking field goal here and a touchdown there. Like, they're not the dominant team that we thought they were going to be.
Yeah, I think Pat Mahomes is definitely having an off year, and that is of some concern. But
go ahead,
Steph.
No, I was just going to say, I think we're basing Patrick Mahomes' performance off the last 2 years, and it is a down year compared to the last couple years. And so I think that's where, I mean, yes, he's still doing great. They're still, whatever they are, 13-1 or whatever they are, and they're at the top of the AFC there. But Rodgers, he's having a better, passing yard, touchdowns wise. But Josh Allen, I think if Josh Allen makes it a little bit further in the playoffs than Aaron Rodgers, I think Josh Allen comes away with the MVP. Just because of where they were last year and how they progressed this year with him as quarterback, and how he's progressed from year to year.
Listen to this, Caleb.
Yeah, sure. I wish they would.
I
vote
definitely
later
would not say that it's like a clear-cut victory for Aaron Rodgers just yet. Yeah, the jury's definitely still out. God, I keep calling him Jared Allen. Josh Allen could definitely still win this. Could definitely still win this. Let's see here. I got a text. Anyways, we're gonna run into. Let's see. We still got. Wow, we haven't even touched Sunday's games yet. We've got a lot to talk about. But before we do, we have some friends from another nonprofit, and this is we've worked with our friends at Project Refit before. We've had them on the show talking about some MMA stuff. Now we're going to talk some football, some basketball stuff. But first, I want to introduce a couple guys from the Irreverent Warriors. Ian Pike. We've got Andrew over there to camera right. There he is. Just got done showing off some wonderful ribs he just got done making. Ian, Andrew, and I believe I'm getting text from Travis right now, so I'm assuming that he's fashionably late as per usual. As per usual. Gary Free Sr. says, I agree on most improved player, Josh. Yeah. That's fair. All right. Well, I guess we'll wait on Travis. But in the meantime, gentlemen, how are you guys doing?
We're doing well. I appreciate you having us on here.
No, thanks for coming. Can you believe that 2020 is finally like we're, don't speak too loud too quickly, but we're just over a week out from closing this year out and being done with this son of a bitch.
Yeah, just wait until that motherfucker turns 21.
Oh yeah, that's the worst thing you can do at this point is get that thing to drinking age.
Yeah, that's exactly what we need.
Yeah, man.
Hell, while we're waiting for Travis, we can go ahead and get kick started here and let everybody know kind of what our mission is and everything like that, if you'd like.
Take it away, man. You got the floor.
So
All right. So I'm Andrew Pereira. I'm the district coordinator for all of Texas and Oklahoma, which we refer to as Texas North, and Louisiana we refer to as Texas East. So the mission statement of the Road Warriors.
Yes.
Is, yeah, I'm not changing the district's name. It's Texas. So our mission is to bring veterans together using humor and camaraderie to improve mental health and prevent veteran suicide. And the way we do that is by bringing veterans into these hikes where the humor comes in is we do the hikes in silkies or ranger panties if you're in the Army. And so what that does is it provides a platform for veterans to take their masks off and be themselves again. So if you're working a 9-to-5 or you're in the military and now you're working a 9-to-5 and you're not feeling the camaraderie that you used to, you can come to this event and just know that you're not going to be judged by anyone. Everyone at these hikes accepts you for who you are before they even know you. And I think that's the entryway to get veterans help. So the way that I think is what we really do is we get veterans out of isolation, which is the important thing, is getting them out of isolation. If you show up to an event, you don't have to talk. But if you're ready to talk, someone will be there to give you an ear. And it's someone that has probably gone through the same experience or similar experience as you were. So it's not like going to the VA and talking to someone that doesn't fully understand what you're going through. It's someone else that has probably experienced the same thing, and they'll be more willing to accept you and understand and not judge you while you're doing it.
yeah, and another big thing about it is it creates an open network, right? So veterans struggling the hardest usually feel like they don't have anybody that they can turn to, anybody that understands them, and a lot of the time don't want to go out and seek mental help. And that's a huge roadblock that's almost impossible or sometimes impossible for certain people to overcome. But simply going to these events and meeting these people and, talking about the good old days and having a good time, you create friendships that you might have missed, that when you were in the military. And it's hugely successful in preventing veteran suicide and really giving people the outlet that might have been taken away from them when they got out. And it's hugely important and beneficial to everybody involved. I mean, whether you're somebody who is struggling or not, you being there could be the difference for somebody else.
Right. And that's where I tell a lot of veterans. What I've been trying to focus on is getting older veterans out, Vietnam era veterans. And a lot of them have just gone through their struggle and just lived their life, not thinking anything of it, or they're successful and they're not thinking of suicide or anything like that. So when I presented to them and I get to the verse where it says preventing veteran suicide, a lot of them look at me like, well, I'm not suicidal. Well, that's great. That's awesome that you're not suicidal. But maybe there's someone at this hike that needs to hear your story. Maybe there's something you could do for this for some veteran you never met before. Maybe they need you, and not so much that you need this organization, but someone there needs you. So just show up.
I've definitely talked about this before, but I feel like there's always kind of an unspoken connection between people who've worn the uniforms, just kind of an understanding. Like, for example, you see Bruce down here, bottom left of your screen. He's working for ATX Metalworks right here, sitting on my hat. First day I met him, I walked up and just friendly conversation. We're both stuck on the same job site waiting around, and I see him. We start talking. Turns out he's a devil dog. I tell him I was a squid. We start talking back and forth. All of a sudden, the owner of his company shows up. We start talking, and he's a devil dog. And then all of a sudden, we start talking shit to each other like we were downrange together. But we don't. We don't know each other from Adam. But here we are. It's just that understood connection. It doesn't matter. None of this shit matters because, whenever you look at you come home and you see all how everything's polarized and divisive, none of that shit matters whenever you're in the middle of the most stressful situation you've probably ever been in your life. You're not worried about what color the skin is of the guy next to you or the content of his character. You're just praying to God he's going to have your back, and and you're trying to be as confident as you can that you're going to have his. And that's what all matters, man. And I think that high level structure, when that goes away for people, it's hard. It's hard for people to cope with that. It's hard for people to deal with that and to try to adjust to normal society where you have the freedom to do things like take a shit without asking permission first, And so, and so that's why I've always loved, the Silkies hikes. I've been following Irreverent Warriors for a while, and this is, always loved it. And so when I found out that Travis was involved with the Austin chapter, I definitely was more than excited to bring you guys on. Plus, Travis claims he's trying to talk some shit about some sports, and I'm trying to hear it. So, anyways, as far as that is concerned, we always appreciate having you guys on. We have had another nonprofit on as well, and we're happy to have them back. And you guys are always welcome to talk on the show. And I'm definitely looking forward to an opportunity of linking up with you guys in the future at some of your local events and maybe doing a podcast at the finish line of Silky's hike. Maybe once my fat ass has walked around in some short shorts for a few miles with you guys, toting no glory. I am definitely down.
I'm looking forward to it.
So, yeah, man.
Go ahead.
So I was just going to say, you guys, I know that we had talked about the Round Rock stuff here in Austin. And I know that you guys have some Texas events coming statewide as far as, maybe even Texas East and Texas North. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so let me read off the dates. So the dates that I'm going off are already published on the Irreverent Warriors main page. So if you go to irreverentwarriors.com, if you're not in Texas, but you want to find a hike that's possibly local to you, you go to irreverentwarriors.com, and then you'll see a little deal on the side there where it's a drop-down menu. You go to events, and everything that's published is definitely happening. So that's all locked. Those are all locked-in dates that are actually happening. So for Texas District, which includes Texas East and Texas North, the first hike we have going for 2021 will be March 6th in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. After that, it'll be March 20th in Galveston, Texas. April 10th in Tulsa, Oklahoma. April 24th in Fort Worth, Texas. And then we got to go all the way down to October. It'll be October 2nd, San Antonio, Texas. And October 23rd, Round Rock, Texas.
Yep. That's my baby.
And that's where we're going to be at. Yes, and I will definitely be there. I will be there. I will be there for the hike and the finish line, and hopefully be able to do a live stream show to make sure we get a chance to broadcast the finish line and maybe see how fucking out of breath I will likely be. So if you guys had to label who your favorite teams were, I know Ian and Andrew, you guys aren't too heavy into the sports world, but if you had to pick teams, NFL, who are you picking?
Well, I'm from New England, so Patriots.
Oh, fuck's sake. Yeah.
And I'm from California, so Texans.
All right. Fair enough. And I believe Bruce is a Cowboys fan. Is that correct?
No, man. I'm Houston. I'm from Houston.
You're from Houston. Yeah, it's a tough go for you this year, my man. Yeah. It's a tough go. At least,
Very tough.
So where are you? Texans came back?
What's that?
Were you a Titans fan until the
No,
Texans
man,
came
I've
back?
always been Houston.
So you didn't follow the Oilers to Tennessee?
All right, when
Moon
was there, he was good, you know. But he didn't come. He didn't come back.
Yeah. All right. That's fair.
Man, so all right, so fair enough. We've got see Joseph Lawhorn says tighten up. That's fair. He's from Tennessee proper. He's a Vols fan. He's Tennessee everything. I didn't even catch what the hell he just said. He just screamed
that
and
was
shut
a
up.
dick shot. That's the obligatory devil dog dick shot.
Yeah.
There we
He's
go.
always yelling. That's cool.
Well, cool, man. And obviously, we're really looking forward to kind of growing the relationship between the Blitz podcast, Backyard Sports Media, us as a media company, and then of course you guys as a nonprofit. I see you drinking a Shiner there. I can definitely appreciate. Yeah, solid.
There you go.
Joshua Confer says, "Go Pats, man! You can get out of here with that shit."
Man,
He
followed
down the road, my guy.
So Joshua Confer is my co-coordinator for the Round Rock Austin.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he tuned in here.
Yeah, so put some respect on it.
Put some respect on his name. My bad.
Gotta put a little respect on my name.
Hey man, if he can't take a little fucking heat, he needs to carry his ass anyways. So it is what it is.
Are you done? Are you done? Or are you finished?
Are you finished?
A BYS official Joshua Confer shave that fucking mustache, please.
We should do
Oh yeah, most definitely. All right,
Yeah.
Joshua Confer, on behalf of Backyard Sports Media LLC, shave that fucking mustache.
Fix
my guy.
that fucking
What are you doing? This is coming.
This
This is coming from a guy who has like pubes in the shape of a neck beard on his
It
face.
still
Shave
looks
that
better than
fucking
his.
mustache, my guy.
It still looks better than his, I promise you.
Are we? Is it like a pedistache?
I feel like to be fair, we have to see this mustache.
His 12-year-old son grows a better beard than he does.
Just the mustache.
That's rough.
Well, fuck.
That's
Andy
rough.
Flint here sneezes a better beard than he grows.
Yeah, the beard game is definitely on point. Most definitely on point. But I don't know, man. I think Andrew still takes the cake on it, man. Andrew definitely takes the cake on the beard game. My man is rocking. Most definitely rocking. So anyway. So all right, so Travis, I understand you're a bit of a basketball fan.
What's that?
Travis, you're a basketball fan?
Yeah, basketball and football, definitely. And Brooklyn.
How are you feeling real quick? Joshua Confer says, I shaved it. Do I need to video in?
No. Nobody wants to see you.
No one wants to see a naked mole rat.
Yes. It doesn't get better. Speaking of naked
aptly so.
Speaking of naked mole rat, you should see Santa's little helper over here. Gary, you should see him without a beard. Naked fucking mole rat. Proper Kim Possible naked. Yeah. Travis.
10 years in the Navy having to shave, man. My face is baby fucking smooth. Like a fucking
Joshua Confer says. Josh Confer says hockey is better. Hockey's not even a real fucking sport, my guy. Get out of here.
Don't say so. Disagree.
No, I said what the fuck I said, and I'm not going to listen to a Californian and a fucking New England guy talk to me about shit. Okay, I am born and raised in Texas. Hockey doesn't exist.
That's why you're wrong, son. Hockey is what.
Even the Stars, I know they had a great season. Could not care less. Travis, being a Houston fan, how are you feeling about this fuckery going on with James Harden right now?
Honestly, I think he's just playing it smooth. He's just trying to. I don't think he's gonna leave. I just think he just wants more people.
I think smooth is the last word that comes to mind right now.
Hey.
Well, I think there was some smoothness in that club. I mean, they can't show up there.
He's playing a game. He's playing a game with the GM. He's threatening to leave to get more people. I don't think he's gonna leave. He's got a good team now.
Yeah.
He's actually got somebody that's over 6'5".
So, what about him making it rain, though?
He better be fine.
What a great answer. See, look, Travis is going to become our fucking Houston representative. I love that. Fucking H-time. Hold it down.
Strip clubs and fucking McDonald's.
Yeah, dude,
and
fucking screwed in chop music. Josh Confer says rugby is better. We need to block this guy, dude. You know what? Now that you shave your fucking mustache, you can get blocked.
Put on the fucking freshman 15 between the playoffs and the start of the season.
I love
Bye,
it.
Josh.
Bye, Josh.
Dude, a freshman 50
Get from anywhere,
for
Josh.
Harden. I bet you we still screw this shit though.
Joseph Lawhorn says Harden plus Haskin plus titties. That is,
Yeah.
it's clearly the combos which we've seen in late. I mean,
Get it at
we've
the
seen
professional
nothing but
man, the amount of scattered ass they get, they got to go to the fucking strip club. Fuck.
man for all. Yeah, that's
I'd
the
still
thing
be
that
there.
confused me.
I'd be there every night.
You're a dog, Andy. You're an absolute
Look
fucking
at
dog.
I'd get the buffet. I don't even do shit.
I'm just here for the wings, as Lou Will would say.
Yeah. Prime rib. Oh, Lou Will. Jeez.
Oh, speaking of ribs.
Best wings.
Lou Will's worrying about that. Yeah, man, Ian, I'll be honest. I'm kind of jealous of that rib situation you got going on over there. Andrew throwing it down.
I'm glad I just reminded
You
them
got a chance
that
to
they
take a peek at
have
those
rib
ribs.
burner.
And Andrew is definitely the rib guy, man. They fall off the bone.
I respect that.
Everything is just perfect, man.
It's because he has a beard.
Dang.
Look at the beard. That's
Yeah.
why.
He's got
Beard
Is that what it is?
and make ribs. Absolutely.
No,
This is
I
normal.
will put
There we
it
go.
in my mouth as willingly as I can. What the fuck is that?
That's not surprising.
Wait, what did he say?
Get on a plate.
No, you fucking heard what he said.
I heard
You heard
that, right?
exactly.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I just had to make sure.
like a child.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just wanted on record that the first gay reference made in here was not by the Navy guys. Hey,
Surprisingly.
ooh, that looks good, man.
Fuck that.
I'm more interested in the bowl you're eating. I've never had ribs in a bowl. I like that.
He's a child.
So
Oh,
my
you gotta
girlfriend
eat
thought
it
it would
in
be
a bowl.
funny to bring it to me in a child's bowl. And I put this for it.
We think it's funny too. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good touch.
Is that spoon got a crayon on it?
Crown
I
color.
wish.
That's a spork.
Yeah, get a fork for sure.
God damn it.
Oh man. Joshua Confer says I'm learning ribs. I'm learning from the best. I'm guessing are you teaching Josh how to do ribs? Andrew?
Kind of. Not all the
Kind of.
but some of them.
There you go. Just the basics. You know what I mean? Let him figure this shit out on his own.
Yeah. You'll learn head one.
All right.
No, because if we let him figure it out on his own, he's going to end up being like Colin Kester. Making some dry ass, better in the microwave fucking food.
He's
Travis
gonna just
knows.
pioneer the new McRib sandwich. Anyways, well, guys, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I think we may try to keep Travis around so we can talk some more sports. But with that being said, Ian, Andrew, I'll let you guys get to those delicious ribs. Thanks for tuning in. We're definitely going to try to have you guys back on the show, and definitely sign me up for that Silky's hike. I'm in. Round Rock October 2nd. I'm in.
Yeah, we really appreciate you having us. Honestly, if we could help out one person that tunes into your show, then this would all be a success. That's all. That's
And likewise, man.
So I appreciate your time.
Fuck yeah, brothers. I appreciate y'all.
All right, fellas. Have a good night.
You shipped
Yeah,
those
so
ribs to New York?
What's that?
Merry Christmas.
I asked if he ships those ribs to New York. I'm hungry.
No. You need to come to America, which is called Texas.
Oh,
Fair
from
enough.
the back.
Thank you guys for your
From
service.
the fucking back.
Fair enough.
All
Oh,
right,
that's
fellas.
solid.
Thank you guys.
So,
Merry
hey,
Christmas.
Ian,
Y'all have
Andrew,
a
real
good
quick. Merry Christmas, my man. You guys be good. I want you guys to plug your Facebook. You guys have a specific space Facebook, not just Irreverent Warriors. It's Irreverent Warriors Austin / Rounder, right?
So if you go to so I promote the district. If you go to Irreverent Warriors Texas, it'll be a like page, and then within the like page, if you go to groups within the little sidebar there, it'll show all the Texas district subgroups, and then you can join any one of them if you want. And then it should be the same for every single Irreverent Warriors page, or even when you're looking at the events on the main page, you just click on the hike that you want to go to, and it'll bring you to a direct link with Eventbrite, and it'll show all the details for every single hike that you want to go to. And
There
you
we
have
go.
to register for it. You have to register for the hikes. And the reason for the registration, which is buying your tickets or the tickets are free, is for logistical purposes. So the coordinators know how many people to plan for.
Right. Right. They got to get that head count in, and look at the ticker down here at the bottom of your screen. If you're watching, it says Reverend Warriors /Texas. Be sure to check that shit out if you were in Texas. If you're not, check out Reverend Warriors in general. Follow the Silkies hikes. Go to their Instagram. Go to their Facebook. They're all over. This shit is wild. It's fun. I'm looking forward to doing it myself here in a few months. Ian, Andrew, thank you guys so much for coming out, man. We look forward to seeing you guys again soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right, brother.
Don't fuck with Bruce too much, man. He's sensitive.
He is sensitive. I know. I've learned.
We came to the
And
wrong
John,
fucking place.
And he's my roommate.
Got a cry locker.
All right, fellas.
Hey, have a good night, guys.
All right, be good. Josh Comfort throwing the link in the comments. I appreciate you, buddy. He said you all are fantastic. You know what? You're fantastic, man. I don't care what they say about your mustache. You're fantastic. So, Travis, we were just actually going through the NFL schedule. Hold on. I see little microwave said, "Did you just say microwave?" She's been activated. There we go. Okay. So Sunday, December 20th, 31-27.
Does that mean Stove has to go, or
No, I'm good, boys. I'm good.
microwave activated? That sounds sort of like
Oh, easy.
the brown
damn.
chicken, brown
damn.
cow.
Yeah, that microwave after dark. So Buccaneers Falcon 31-27. And again, I feel like this is another example of like the Falcons could still be a good team, and then they just become the Falcons. So, Travis, did you watch that game?
I didn't watch the game, but I read up on all the highlights and whatnot. And Falcons they have too good of a team to keep losing like that. They got to switch something up.
Yeah. I mean, for fuck's sake, you have Julio Jones, dude.
And
Julio fucking Jones, Calvin Ridley, who's a stud.
Who is Julio Jones' little mini-me in the making? You know what I mean? And you got Matt Ryan who can sling it. You got a good defensive line. You need defensive backs and a good scheme for a coach. You got to get a better coach to put that puzzle together. That's a really good team if you think about it. They're really talented.
Yeah, most definitely. Travis, if you have headphones, that would make this a lot easier. We're getting a lot of feedback from you whenever we're going.
I don't have
Or you can just mute whenever you're not talking. That's one thing you can't do.
Well, fuck, I don't talk when I don't talk.
You can mute when you're not talking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Poor Devil Dog. That was too many words at the same time. Just mute when you are not talking.
All right.
Bless your fucking heart.
I'm spoken to then.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, we could skip straight to the part where you shut the fuck up. That works too. I want to hear your feedback.
I do agree, though. I think with the Falcons thing, with the coaching, especially Raheem Morris, I don't think that's ever going to be, your bridge to the playoffs or the Super Bowl. Being an interim head coach sometimes, and then it comes full circle, and most of the times it doesn't. So, I think that's probably their biggest problem. Their second biggest problem is they're the fucking Falcons, and they figure out how to lose in the most devastating ways ever. I'll never understand what happens there. But, yeah, bringing Gurley in the offseason, you talked about the defensive line. I do like the defensive line. Obviously, you have Julio Jones and Matt Ryan, who have had issues the past few years for whatever reason scoring touchdowns together. I'm losing his name right now. The Hayden Hurst, the tight end.
Yeah.
Pretty good young player there. But yeah, they do. I agree. They're way too talented on paper to lose so often.
Yep.
I think it's a culture there, man. And Raul, you're on mute, so I'm going to jump in here. I think it's a culture there, dude. They haven't recovered from that Super Bowl, and I know it's just regular season games, but I can only imagine when you're up 24 to nothing, or you're up 30-7, right? And then you make a mistake, right? You get a penalty on third down when you should have converted a first down. Somebody fumbles. Matt Ryan throws a pick. Matt Ryan gets sacked, fumble, that sort of thing. Like, something happens, and your entire frame of mind just goes to, well, fuck, here we go again. We're the fucking Falcons, and this is what's going to happen, right? Because you don't recover from 28-3 in the motherfucking Super Bowl on the biggest stage in sports, right? And I know there's soccer fans that'll argue about the World Cup and shit, but the Super Bowl is the biggest stage in sports because it fucking is, right? You don't recover from 28-3. You either embrace it and move the fuck on from it, or you let it haunt you. And it is clear to me that the Falcons have decided they're going to let it fucking haunt them. Because every goddamn weekend, it seems like they get out to this boat race score of 24-0, 40-3 or whatever it was against the Cowboys. And they fucking implode because, oh, here we go again. And then it's a fumble, it's an interception, it's a dropped pass, and then it just steamrolls as it goes down the line. And that's the Falcons. We've said it almost every goddamn week, and it feels like the Falcons are going to Falcon, and that's what they do. And they just have not recovered from, they didn't embrace it, they didn't move on from it, they let it haunt them, and 28-3 continues to beat them seemingly every weekend.
Yeah. Well, clearly they haven't fucking learned from it because the beginning of the season, the Cowboys did the same fucking thing, man, and that's
goddamn
wild.
In a nutshell, that's the Falcons, right? With that onside at 9 yards and spun until it got to 10 yards, and nobody from the Falcons decided to fucking dive on it. That's bad coaching. That's bad execution. That's being scared. Like, you can't have that shit happen as professionals, but that's exactly what fucking happened. The Falcons falconed right there. That play, that onside kick, that weird fucking circular orb that they decided was the onside kick. That was the Falcons of the last 3 years in a nutshell. Since 28-3, that's the Falcons.
Yep, that's exactly right, man.
I don't think
Travis,
more on that. So
yeah, I
you
mean,
hit the nail on the head on that one.
Well, and it's crazy because I feel like we're almost beating a dead horse, but this has been a consistent problem in fucking Atlanta. Bruce, you're muted as well.
So are they.
Yeah. Okay, so Travis, did you have something you wanted to add to that? We'll need to unmute you real quick. So, can you unmute him?
I did, yeah.
No, he's still muted. Still put him in fucking permanent timeout.
There you go.
No, I was going to tag on. Is my mic all right? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, just try not to move your phone when you're
So I was
talking.
going to tag on what you were saying. What?
Try not to move your phone when you're talking because it's moving around your hand. The mic's real sensitive.
All right. Well, to go on what Santa's little whatever was saying. Now I'm just messing with you.
His name's Gary.
I got a question for you. Do you think that loss, like whenever, or what you were saying, it keeps coming up. Do you think that when they lost like that every time they get a lead, they're just like, oh man, we're gonna blow it anyway? You think they just give up or what? And
I don't necessarily think they give up, right? I just think that there's a mentality shift when they get these leads because they are a talented team, as you said, right? And as we've all kind of emphasized, right? They have so much talent on that team. When they get these leads and one little thing happens, it's like human nature to do that, right? You either embrace your fuck up at 28-3 or you let it haunt you, right? They let it haunt them. And it just feels like every time they get one of these leads, something happens. a big play one way or another, or even just a little thing like a missed third down conversion or whatever it is, and this switch flips for them, and it is, right? It's just like, oh, here we go again. We're the Falcons, and we're going to Falcon, and we're going to blow this lead. And I think that's pretty close to what, they're professionals, right? They don't just give up, I don't think, anyway. I just think that I've been there, right? I've made mistakes in games as in college, right? I didn't play professionally, but in college, I made a mistake. And then the next time a situation like that comes up in your head, it's hard not to think like, oh, fuck, here I go again, right? Like, I fucking made a bad throw to first base. Oh, fuck, I'm going to continue this bullshit. And I just think that's what happens to them. They feel pressure, and pressure builds, and pressure can either crush you or turn you into a diamond. And there ain't no fucking diamonds in Atlanta right now.
Ain't no diamonds, dude.
There's plenty of diamond talent, but I think the whole locker room is pretty shook, and it's a culture that's going to have to get out of their own rut.
Yeah, for sure. And they're the only people that can get out of it, because that's the thing, is they have the full capability of being that Super Bowl caliber team all over again. And with that recent emergence, not recent, but the emergence of Calvin Ridley is being an absolute fucking weapon, dude. That guy's dangerous, man. Like, if we're going to have a predecessor for Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley's a solid, like, at least filler until they get that proper, fast, Megatron-like wideout that they need. I love it, man. Calvin Ridley's a stud, and he was a solid addition to my fantasy league. With that being said, I want to skip to the Houston game real quick, and then Mr. Bruce, we will get you on your way. But I want to get your takeaway from the Texans-Colts game, man, because that was a tough one, 20-27. Texans are already having a tough season, but it's a one-possession loss. So what are your takeaways from this Colts game?
Honestly, man, with the team being mixed up with all the injuries, it's not. I'm not comparing them to the Cowboys. The Cowboys are a good team, but look at all the energy, like all the injuries, the whole team, right? Offensive line, everybody, Dak, everybody out. They went downhill. Now with Houston, it's kind of the same, except for you fire a coach who's been your GM, was getting rid of draft picks, getting rid of everybody. I think the players are like, dude, like this company, like this organization don't really care about us. We're just going to make our paycheck, and hopefully we can go to another team next year. And you got like 3 or 4 guys on that team that are like fucking solid, like Watson, Tunsil. I mean, you got Watt, who came back from injury. I didn't expect him to play all year. Honestly, I thought he was going to get hurt in week 4 again and be out for the rest of the season. But he is putting on some pressure to these quarterbacks, which is surprising. I mean, I just think you got 3 or 4 guys that are really talented, and then the whole organization around them, I think, is just collapsing. And to be from Houston and be a Houston fan, man, I really don't think that the team is getting the attention and the respect. I think they're all just like waiting to hear the next word, because that's how it's been for the past 3 or 4 years of Bill O'Brien. So they're just sitting there just waiting to get screwed over, or traded for a draft pick that don't work or whatever, That's just the way it's been the last 3 or 4 years.
It's tough in a lame duck situation like they're in too, right? How do you continue to play hard when you've got an interim head coach, and Bill O'Brien was kind of who he was? But I'm curious now that we have a Texans like fan on. What were your initial thoughts when they traded DeAndre Hopkins for fucking pocket lint and a pack of green gummy bears?
Have y'all heard of Chris Brown and Rihanna? I felt like Rihanna. All right. If that's how you want me to explain it, that's how the fuck I'm going to explain. You can take a mugshot if you want. I'll paint up. Like, why? And not only that, they paid more for the dude than they could have fucking paid Hopkins. But then they bought out the other contract for a fucking squirrel.
Oh, dude. That is the greatest. I mean, yeah.
I'm
felt like Rihanna.
I'm stealing that.
That's fucking gold, dude. So, yeah. Yeah, that's rough.
The contract that they bought out to bring Johnson over for like $4 million more, they could have kept Hopkins.
So the best wide receiver in football. There's no question, right?
He is
best
if he's
wide
not
receiver
the
in
best,
football. You
he
look
is
at
top
David
3.
Johnson.
If he's not the best, he is top 3 his entire career. With Julio, Calvin Johnson when he was here, and then who's that other dude from the Saints, Michael Thomas, who has fucking played very well, Devontae Adams. Those guys are top 5 every fucking year.
That slant master, boy.
And then Bill O'Brien's like, you know what? I can't afford $4 million more. You guys have him and take a couple draft picks while he's walking out the door.
Yeah.
And everybody's like,
Bill
great
O'Brien
job,
smokes
great job.
crack.
It's like, get the fuck out of here. You're fucking it up. Look, you're gonna get me going on.
Bill O'Brien is
sorry,
on angel dust.
But God damn it, y'all brought it up, and I'm pissed.
Oh, you can cuss a lot.
Let her rip, Tater Chip.
Man, that's frustrating.
I can't even imagine. I can't. Like, as a fan,
I feel like the only real comparison is kind of when Gruden lets go of Khalil Mack. I feel like that's the only kind of comparison. But even then, the impact of that wide receiver versus the impact of Khalil Mack, it's night and day.
Think what Khalil Mack's first game. What, couple sacks, an interception, a fumble recovery, 2 touchdowns on defense, and everybody's like, "Man,
I think the Khalil Mack thing's slightly worse. However,
there's definitely an argument, but still, like, the Rihanna Chris Brown analogy is definitely.
Oh, I love it.
It's a small margin, though.
It's fucking Bobby and Whitney. And it almost fits because of the crack smoking that Bill O'Brien does. So.
Oh, fucking Ike and Tina, boy.
Oh,
damn it. Listen. Oh, Travis, listen, man. Whenever you get off of that Cricket Wireless and it doesn't sound like there's people fucking dancing in the background of your place, bro, I'm trying to have you back on the show, dog. Listen, I need to have you back on the show whenever you're not on the burn guy or on that dial-up.
So you're gonna Bill O'Brien me? Okay.
He just compared himself to DeAndre Hopkins?
Dude, this is like if DeAndre Hopkins rolled up with like fucking like Goodwill football shit on. I don't know what is going on with the audio. It's killer.
Will Fuller, you're hurt again, you know?
Oh. That's tough.
I don't want to mess
I will Fuller.
I'll go get a mic and I'll get back on, all right?
You are welcome.
Yeah, dude, definitely.
Hey, we appreciate you though. Either way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh,
we love the reference.
We love the Chris Brown reference.
We love the Chris Brown.
Hey man, we're gonna do our best impression of Bill O'Brien, and we're gonna fucking get rid of it.
All right.
Well, Mike,
no, that was actually
Mike Ray's talking about. She doesn't agree that DeAndre Hopkins is the best wide receiver. I'm curious who she thinks.
Wait. Who said what?
Little microwave.
No, I think the last sentence in that comment was the most important. But the problem here is that I couldn't even get through that without laughing. My bad. I feel terrible. But listen, I don't. Shout out Travis. Shout out ATX Metalworks for those guys, man. Irreverent Warriors. I appreciate those guys coming on. Travis has been. He's as soon as he found out that I had a sports podcast, he was trying to come fuck with the brand. So maybe it's something where we bring him back on.
So he was texting you nights and weekends because
after 7 when it's free. After 7 when it's free.
I think. I mean, microwave. She doesn't agree.
Yeah, I need to get some closure on that.
So I mean, listen. I do think that like top 3 or 5 is probably the non-negotiable part when it comes to positional play.
I can't put him in. I can't put him in 4 or 5.
But I do. I would be interested. I'm curious who she thinks is number. I personally think Hopkins is number 1. But if you said like that you thought Adams was number 1, I don't think I'd rip your head off or like be upset with that. Who else? I mean, it's tough. Hill. I don't think you can say Hill because I think Hill's too much of a specialist. Metcalf's hasn't shown enough yet. You've got Diggs. I mean, who are the guys? Julio's. I think Julio's kind of getting washed up. So
Julio's on the back nine.
Right, but Julio's not young.
No, he's not young for sure.
He's on the back nine, but he's also still fucking Julio. Like we've seen him.
Right.
Okay, all right. So we got one, Devontae. Okay.
I'm in on that. I'm fine with that.
And to have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback.
But as long as nobody's talking fucking, my biggest thing is we heard in the last couple of years way too much about Michael Thomas, and I'm not trying to hear that shit. The dude was like a 90-9 on Madden or something stupid like that. Like what?
But
it was a hype train. That's all that was.
Good.
He doesn't bring to the table the things that you would want from the best wide receiver in football, right? Michael Thomas doesn't threaten all three levels, right? That's what I expect from a wide receiver that we're going to talk about being the best. Devontae Adams does it, right? DeAndre clearly does it. DK's getting there, I think. Justin Jefferson is. I
was wondering if Justin Jefferson was going to come into this mix. And
he can be.
Big Stove is Will Microwave a Vikings fan?
What's that?
Is she a Vikings fan?
Saints.
Huh.
I'm surprised by the Justin Jefferson comment.
Yeah, I can't anoint Jefferson yet.
Well,
I like Jefferson. I mean, I'm on record on this show saying he was the best rookie. What do you say?
Oh my god, dude. Okay, and so I mean, obviously, we still have to get to that game, but like, I want to talk about that because this isn't the first time we've heard Justin Jefferson specifically.
Oh, she says it
go
will
out against
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that take at number 2. I listen. I'm not even offended by that because I like Justin Jefferson a lot. So I thought you were. I didn't read the comment. I was just going off.
No. She said will be. She's projecting.
Will be okay, but like,
and I want to have this Justin
who would you put right now over Hopkins? Is my thing. Like,
well, Devontae Adams.
I saw that, and I accept that. That was one of the ones I said personally I would agree with. Like, I think it's Hopkins, but again, I said it's negotiable. You know, because I don't claim to know everything. I mean, I know beards. I know beer. Boobs, I know those. So like
the 3 B's.
Yeah, I got the B's down. But no, I mean there's some names you're like, you know what I mean? You're willing to accept some names, but some names you're not. So like, for instance, for me, Adams, fine. If you want to put him above Hopkins, I disagree with you, but I can accept it. If you want to say Michael Thomas, I disagree with you and I don't accept it. Like
he's overrated.
That's one of those. That's where I was going with that. I think personally.
And I'm the same guy who once argued that Michael Thomas was underrated. I am now going on record correcting myself.
He was underrated.
He was underrated though.
Right, and then he went this hype train, just skyrocketed him into this popularity. He gets a 99 man rating.
Best wide receiver in the league to being number 1.
Right, and then really, but all he's ever been is all he's been at least this season is King Slant all day, King Slant, and you know, and at the end of the day, man, that's not Megatron worthy. That's not Devontae Adams worthy. That's not D-Hop worthy. I mean, what are we? That's not even Justin Jefferson worthy. So what are we talking about here?
Adams right now might be the best, like, creative receiver in the league. Like, if you want to give me a ball and you're going to throw that ball in the air to win the game, like, I got to take Hopkins and I got to take, like, a Julio Jones. But, like, if you're going to give me, you know, the ball and some space to make a play, I'd probably go with Adams. I mean, he's been showing us some shit this year. And it's not just this year, but, I mean, most recently we've seen it. It's in the forefront here. So what's wrong? You okay, bud? Eddie?
Yep.
Cousin Eddie, you good?
Okay. Yeah. I appreciate it. I like how I immediately, as soon as you said Eddie, I knew who exactly you're talking to. I was just reading the comment from Microwave. Anyways.
Oh, got it.
Jesus Christ, dude. Hey, is it ham or turkey?
Both.
Jesus
yeah.
Christ, dude.
Firehouse hero.
Fucking stud, dude.
That's
Stove, you're a goddamn stud.
We first
Love
remember
my wife. Love my wife.
yeah. I mean, I love my wife too, but she's been sleeping for an hour. I'm gonna fucking.
Well,
I gotta. Maybe a sandwich.
You poke the bear with some football talk. She's gonna start. She's gonna start in.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so
found out the other night.
Still,
Right.
who's your number one receiver?
Mine, right now, I would probably. Man, that's a good question. I would probably. It's a toss up between D Hop and Adams. I think. I'd like to throw.
Solid answer.
I'd like to throw Metcalf in there, but
Premature.
Yeah, but dude,
he's not. It's almost every other game that he's performing, and whereas D Hop and Adams, I mean, they're performing game in and game out. So it's a toss up between those two. To me, anyways.
I like that.
Basis how teams lose Devontae Adams. Like I watch him running open all the time, and I'm like, how far over there? But then I think, okay, maybe it's the offense. Right? In Kansas City, they're doing exactly that with 5 weapons. Why can't Green Bay be getting one guy open? But as Andy said, like he might be the most creative guy, great route runner, right? He's probably creating ways to get open. And he's got Aaron Rodgers throwing the fucking ball.
And they got a good running game. You have to respect Jones.
For sure. You can't go 8 in coverage, right? You're going to get run all over the place with fucking Aaron Jones. Absolutely. I just don't understand how teams don't double Devontae Adams the way like Bill Belichick takes away people, right? Corner underneath, safety over the top, make somebody else beat you. And I know they've got Aaron Rodgers, and you have to respect that, but like. I'm not scared of Marquez Valdez-Scantling, right? I'm not scared of Alan Lazard. They're fine. They're serviceable. But they're not the guys that I think are going to beat me on a regular basis.
But you're scared of Rodgers enough that you have to kind of be afraid of those guys.
I make him prove it, though.
I mean, Valdez-Scantling has proved it this year. He's made some big plays.
Once.
No, it's been more than once. He almost does it. He does it every game.
Yeah, maybe.
There's like one catch every game, and it's that one catch that makes your fucking butthole pucker up.
Yeah, maybe. I was gonna make the equation with Michael Thomas. We keep hammering this thing about being slant route, and I don't think that being elite at running one route and being able to beat a defense in one specific way makes you like the best in football, but it also does make you scary for a defensive coordinator. Right. Imagine a guy like Deshaun Jackson, right? Trying to game plan for that fucking guy. He's a one-track. Right. He's a 60 yards in the air, and I'm going to track it like a center fielder kind of guy. He scares you.
Jason Witten is the king of the Y option. Yeah.
Right. And maybe that's why Michael Thomas scares defense.
Right, and I don't think anybody's pissing on Michael Thomas as much as we're saying that. Like, he's so fucking far overrated. How did it happen?
So often in these arguments, though, you try to pop up one guy and you're being told you're shit on him.
How do you go from being between the 7th and 8th best wide receiver in the league to being considered the best? Is where I'm at.
You complain
That's
to the
completely fair too.
Like, what do you know? Somebody over there?
Right.
Like,
so for the sake of just. We are an hour and 8 minutes into the show now. So for the sake of trying to speed things along, yeah, I know. Children, let's fucking get it done. All right. Let's go ahead and get straight to it. Lions-Titans.
Why are we all here?
And we get to see another incident where Derrick Henry completely handles a full-grown man, dude.
Yeah.
And just like he's a fucking child.
He's the guy.
I blame this one on the Lions special teams coach. If it wasn't for that fake punt that he called all by himself, the Lions would be in a one possession game, and they might have a chance. But instead, you run the fake punt, you turn the ball over on your own 30-some yard line, and a few plays later, touchdown Titans.
I mean, the problem is with the Lions, and especially in that game with Derrick Henry, is as long as the Titans had the ball last, it didn't matter how many possessions it was because they were going to score. I mean, that defense isn't stopping shit. 5 touchdowns. I mean, Tannehill is like a mid-level quarterback, and he 5 touchdowns.
2 rushing.
2. Well, the Lions can't. They're 32nd against the rush. I mean, they can't do anything. Every week in weekly fantasy, even though I'm not good at it, I pick against the Lions when it comes to running back, and that always pays off. Everything else I do sucks. But yeah, I mean, they were never going to win the game realistically. There was points where this is what the Lions do to me is they get in a game against a good team, and they'll be in the game, and I know it's not going to happen, but it is what it is. It's just one of those things that really proves how poorly built that defense was, coming from a fucking defensive mastermind. Fat Patricia, whatever you want to call the fucking
R.I.P. Fat Patricia.
Yeah, no R.I.P. R.I. fucking suck a dick from the back, bud. Like
from the back.
We don't. Nope. There's no peace for this guy. Go away.
We need to make a fucking T-shirt out of that, and it just needs to be known as "From the Back, Bud." Like that needs to be. That needs to be the next backyard sports T-shirt.
We need a fucking Haskins shirt too.
Right. Definitely. But we need to get Gary to take all of these rants.
Hashtag
Gary
Haskins.
You need to stop putting that on your personal, and you need to stop depriving the backyard Blitzonians of this. I'm just gonna coin that because I like that, the Blitzonians. Aaron Alta says, I can't believe I sat Tannehill for Brady. Ooh, that's tough.
And we killed Microwave for sitting Tannehill. And then, here's the thing. I've been thinking about that all week, not because she was giving it to us, but because how often in fantasy have you ever had two quarterbacks in a playoff setting that went for 5 touchdowns a pop? Mm-hmm. I've won many fantasy leagues, and I don't think it's ever happened for me, let alone 2 guys not named like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we're talking
a unicorn matchup, man.
Hurts and fucking Tannehill combined for 10 touchdowns. Like that is amazing. It hasn't sat right with me, the last few days. That she literally, I felt like it was like look the gift horse in the mouth with the skipping on Tannehill, because Tannehill doesn't get 5 touchdowns. How does that happen? The perfect thing, and then all of a sudden Hurts is like, hold my fucking beer,
dude. Fucking Microwave says I sat Tannehill for Hurts. I'm in the championship game.
Bro. Yo, I mean, I have to think she was in either way. But
fucking Tannehill.
Holy shit! Imagine if you could start 2 QBs.
Oh, yo, Mrs. Can we just talk about Mrs. Stovall over here letting her nuts hang right now on air? I love that.
He's in the I got dead last in all of my leagues.
How does Hurts outscore anybody? Outscore Tannehill in any league, though?
Right.
Yeah.
Tannehill had 1 more touchdown, more passing yards, and 20 less rushing yards.
They had to have been the number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks last week. I haven't looked, but they had to. They had to have been. Who outdid that?
That shit is crazy, man. Either way, let's keep it moving. 49ers, Cowboys, 33-41. Cowboys pull it off. Man, I had the Niners. I had the Niners and comfortably had the Niners to win that. Just because of the week before, I felt like they had a solid performance. I felt like the offense was kind of meshing together. And again, for me, the jury is always going to be out on Andy Dalton. I feel like I'm completely comfortable and completely justified in saying that Andy Dalton is not, should not be your full-time quarterback if you're the Dallas Cowboys. But given the circumstances, obviously we have to do what we have to do. But I mean, they pull off a win, and for me, I feel like it's almost a pointless win. There's really not much benefit coming out of this. I mean, 5-9. The Niners and Cowboys now have equal records. So what do you do? I mean, either way,
it's not pointless. It's not pointless. I mean,
Fair.
you're one win away from being the leader in the NFC East there. And
the Cowboys need more though, because
they do.
They're not in the lead if they win and we lose. So I mean, it's not pointless, right? But they definitely need help. They need Washington to lose out. They've got to win out.
They do. So it's almost like
entirely possible.
Sure. If you don't get the help, then what are you doing to your team for the future? You're setting yourself up for a 12 to 16 draft pick or so. I mean, middle of the road. So I mean, at this point, do they have the late game this week?
So weird because you can literally in one game cost yourself like 9 draft spots or 10 draft spots, right? Because you
Trevor Lawrence
and be the worst playoff team drafting, right? And you draft at what is it? Fucking now with 7 teams from each, so you're drafting at 18, 19, right? Or if you lose the division by a game or half a game, you might be drafting somewhere in the top 12, top 10. So the NFC East is fucking weird this year, but
so Gary Freeze Sr. says I have to like Dallas, but what is wrong with the Niners?
Brett's a Cowboys fan, so he supports Brett.
Attaboy.
So
Niners.
I mean, to nobody's surprise, I did look in.
I'm just more grateful that he hasn't disowned his son for being a fucking Washington football team fan.
Or a Cowboys fan. So
that's very big.
Jalen Hurts had the most fantasy points last week of anybody, not just quarterbacks. And then Tannehill was third.
Who was second?
Josh Allen was second by 0.7. So
I still don't get how that math works, man.
Well, it's Common Core, Gary.
Apparently. You can have more touchdowns.
He said it's Common Core.
Well, the one thing I was thinking was Tannehill did catch a safety, right?
Is that negative in standard leagues?
I don't know.
I was looking for turnovers, right? I thought maybe he fumbled, which makes
because the sack is still negative points.
Sack, yeah.
In leagues, you take the sack and okay, maybe that's what it is then. Must be.
That had to be. And I was thinking too, because when we first were talking about it, I was like, "There's no fucking way." But I forgot that the Lions' inept defense at one point got a safety.
Yeah, that must be.
Just a second, guys. Fucking cousin Eddie's getting hot in this room.
Yeah, right, man. Shit is full.
Right, dude, shitter's full. Shitter is full. All right. But
makes sense.
I got the dad bod shirt on right here representing the brand, and trust, she's a beaut, Clark. She's a fucking beaut.
She is a beaut.
Anyways, I got Travis in my fucking messages right now saying like he's trying to get in on the brand. He's saying, look, I'm trying to be in on the show. He's trying to get in. And again, it's easy to say after 7 p.m. when minutes of text messages are free.
Right. And you gotta upgrade the Nokia, but
yeah, dude, rocking the brick, man. Like, look, are you playing Fruit Ninja or are you playing Snake? Which one is it?
56K modem ain't working, but
hey, damn it, boy. Damn, if someone's got to get off the phone for you to get on the internet, you cannot be on this show.
You used to have to stop mid-jack and just hold, like, and wait for the fucking shit to catch up.
The buffer.
Listen, my childhood was all about spending overnight to download one fucking song, only to find out that I got rickrolled.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna give you up. Yeah.
I'm still very proud of the day that we used to do wake-up songs whenever we were deployed. Every morning, 6 a.m., there'd be a song that would play over the 1MC, and I was very proud to have held the title of being able to rickroll 225 people at the same time by playing Rick Astley's never going to give you up over the 1MC one morning on deployment. I got so many phone calls up to the bridge of people that were pissed off that I did
That's
that.
legendary.
But, yeah, no regrets. No regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets. All right, so Bears-Vikings 33-27. And we see a post game from Justin Jefferson. Again, throwing shade at Kirk Cousins.
That post game isn't real.
So what is it?
It's
Can it be
somebody crafted it.
Aw.
Okay, but that hot mic.
The hot mic's real.
Yeah. You'll learn.
Right.
I can get over the hot mic more
All
in Cousins than I could that.
The hot mic happens fucking 10 times a game. Hot mic,
You'll learn.
I can get over the hot mic more in Cousins than I could that.
Hot mic happens fucking 10 times a game.
Ooh, interesting audio there.
That was weird.
Yeah, that rolled. That ran all the way through our entire. Yeah, anyways, 33-27. Bears beat the Vikings. Kirk Cousins. So, Gary, I'm going to go to you because you've been the biggest Kirk Cousins advocate all along. Yeah,
and I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay there, right? Like, Kirk Cousins is what the Vikings paid for him to be. They just haven't been able to capitalize on it, right? Like
24 guaranteed million. You think they're what? How can you say that?
Get him, Stove.
He's the guy they fucking paid for.
They paid 80, you're telling me if I paid 84 fucking million for a quarterback, I'm getting fucking mediocrity?
He's not mediocre though.
Oh, he's okay as shit.
All right. I mean, look, I've been defending the guy, and I'm going to continue to defend the guy. That's not in his tool bag, right? That hot mic situation, that's not in his tool bag.
What? Winning not in his tool bag?
It's not. It's not.
Being good at football.
Okay. If running to your left and pulling away from a defender and having to throw across your body back to the other side of the field, sure. I mean, look, I'm going to be stuck out here on the island because the media tells us Kirk Cousins is a bad quarterback. But I watch the game, and I watch an offense that can't protect him. I watch an offense that has fucking good wide receivers that can't fucking run routes in Stephon Diggs, who goes to Buffalo and changes his entire fucking game. Like, that dude was at best good in Minnesota. I just listen. I watched the guy play the game. The eyeball test tells me that he's an above-average quarterback, and that's what they paid for. The market said $84 million is the salary that you pay an above-average quarterback. Now, Stove, I get what you're saying about $84 million guaranteed, but his contract was $84 million, right? They paid for the quarterback that they got. He's above average. He's better than what they had at the time. It's not his fault that they overpaid defensive players and had to cut everybody and then tried to bring in a quarterback because they were desperate, didn't have an offensive line that could do fucking anything. He's the sixth most pressured quarterback in the NFL, and the only people below him are non-playoff teams. He's an above-average quarterback when it comes to on-target percentage. He is what they paid for.
I think he's above average. When
the market value at $22 million a year for quarterbacks slots him well below what we're trying to portray him as. They paid for what they got.
But I think he's above average when you're talking about throwing a football. I think when you talk about being a good player, it's a little bit of a different thing. Like let's bring the Eli Manning discussion back into play. Eli Manning, when
Eli ever was.
That's not the comparison we're making.
You brought him into play.
Let me fucking speak. I'm talking about when we would speak of Eli Manning as a passer, right? And when you looked at Eli Manning, the passer, you were like, God, this guy sucks. But sometimes you would look at Eli Manning, the football player, and you would be like, he's the reason they won the game. Threw 3 interceptions early, came out, got his fucking ass kicked, threw 2 darts, scored late, they win the game because of Eli Manning and because of the defense, obviously, too. But I'm saying there's a difference sometimes between being a passer and being a football player. And I do think that Kirk Cousins is a great passer. I think he throws the ball exceptionally well. But I think sometimes the other things, the intangibles, are where he doesn't excel.
So my question would be, what intangibles are we talking about here? Are we talking about a guy that stares down pressure? Because I just laid out that he faces the 6th most pressure in the league, and he faced the 3rd most pressure in the league his last season in Washington. And he's an above average guy in on target percentage. Like a guy that's standing in the pocket behind an awful offensive line and putting the ball on target is probably the guy I want under center for me.
Okay, so sometimes Tom Brady, we talk about Tom Brady not having the best arm, not being the best passer. But Tom Brady can go out there with a shit team, especially shit receivers, and play the game of football really fucking well. It's things like reaction, just being a fucking gamer.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen, we need to expedite. We're an hour and a half, and we still have a whole other sport to talk about.
Stop trying to use fucking big words.
Expedite really isn't. I know it's like more than one syllable, but it's really not like that
kind of
big of a word. So calm the fuck down. Calm the fuck down. Yeah. So, anyways, listen, let's keep it moving. Seahawks and Washington. All right. 5-point game, 20-15 final score. Gary, I guess we're going to go right back to you on this. Stove, I feel like you had a point about the Kirk Cousins comment. Just hindsight. Let's move on. Washington Seahawks. What are your takeaways from the Washington game, Gary?
I mean, this is a standard Washington game from the year. Like, ill-prepared to start the game, fall behind, poorly coached, poorly game planned, poor execution. The defense got run over a bit in the first half, and it changed the whole complexion of the game.
Do you feel like this is going to be something that Ron Rivera is going to shake off, though, or do you feel like he's just not going to be the answer for Washington?
This is what we are, right? We're an offense that isn't prepared for games. Until Ron Rivera moves on from Scott Turner, this is what we are. Since like game 1, essentially, I've watched this offense, and it's so predictable. We miss Antonio Gibson pretty fucking desperately. The dude, I was wrong about him coming out of the draft, right? I'll shoulder that right now. Antonio Gibson is a difference maker for the offense because he makes guys miss in the hole. He's an elusive guy. He's not Christian McCaffrey, but I think the comparison to Christian McCaffrey was fair when he came out of college, like Christian McCaffrey light. But we're not a well-coached team. This good guy story, right? This feel-good story is what everybody's like holding on to in Washington this year. Alex Smith came back from the injury. He's not a good quarterback.
Right, Ron Rivera beats cancer. Right.
Ron Rivera beats cancer, and everybody wants to feel really good about it. But for me, I watched this team at the beginning of games, and they're not ready to play on Sundays. And that is 100% on the coaching staff. And I'm going to stand by that until we score a fucking field goal on an opening drive. 14 games, fucking 0 points on opening drives. And that's
not... Microwave with an excellent point. Poor Scary Terry this whole season, dude. I mean,
right, because Robbie, the offense is coached to check down.
So let's go back real quick to the prior conversation with Microwave about this. Let's talk top 3, top 5 receivers. Terry Mack is in that conversation with a better fucking quarterback. Man. Like, it's not like I believe truly he is a top 3 potential quarterback. Receiver. No doubt. That kid is an absolute fucking stud. Weston Taylor says, "Nice hat." Yeah, thanks, man. I love it when a devil dog hands me a brand new hat. But this one was not brand new when I received.
Look, I'm going to make one last point, and I'll pass it off because I don't think there's any secrets to how I feel about kind of what's been going on in Washington. Scary Terry is not necessarily saddled by bad quarterback play. He's saddled by the way the offense is coached. And I'm gonna give one play that encapsulates exactly what is the problem with this offense. So Haskins' second interception in the game. There's 2 routes run, and they're run within a yard of each other in front of the safety's face. So what that means is the safety can cover 2 people. And the defensive back has nobody threatening his mid fucking level on his side of the field. But Haskins is locked into what the coach has told him is supposed to be the route to throw to. Now, Haskins needs to read the field better, but he's coached in a certain way because this is the guy that threw for over 300 yards, 70% completion, and nearly 100 quarterback rating against the Ravens in week 4 and then got fucking benched. He's scared, he's playing scared, and he's being coached scared. And that play right there to me encapsulates the problem with this fucking Washington team. We have an incredibly good defense, and we're wasting it with this offense that has a guy running the show that shouldn't even be coaching Pee Wee football.
And shout out to Chase Young.
Dude's a stud.
Dude's a stud. And the only other thing I have to say about this game is shout out to the real Scary Terry, Terry Rozier, and the Gordon Hayward, mellow ball era, 42 points in
42.
10 threes, baby.
Dude.
My fantasy team. Shout out.
Dude.
Also, I had LaMelo Ball on my fantasy team, too. He had no points.
Chase Young is the fucking real deal, dude. He is the real deal.
So
terrifying.
Real quick here, Gary. So you're talking about Haskins and how in the 4th week of the season he played against the Ravens and had this remarkable game and everything else. So
not remarkable, but not benchable.
Okay. All right. So what do you say about the reports when he got benched and why he got benched, about the type of teammate that he was, or the amount of time he was putting into the film study and just all that stuff, and got benched, basically got demoted to 3rd string quarterback. Then your 2nd string quarterback got hurt. Alex Smith goes in to start then and starts for a few games. He gets hurt. Haskins comes back as a starter, comes back that second half, comes back and starts last week. And now reports and video and pictures and everything of him at a strip club, maskless, dancing with the strippers, blah, 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 this and that. They take away his captain, fine him $40,000. Like, and we were talking about this earlier. Like, in my opinion, if you benched your quarterback after 4 games to start the season because of the way he was preparing for games or the way he was going about practice and everything else like that, why did he have a captain to begin with, or why wasn't it taken away from him then? And now
Ron's full of shit. Ron's full of shit. He's full of shit. He wasn't benched because he was a bad teammate. He wasn't benched because of the way he prepares. He wasn't benched for whatever fucking fake ass, false ass, empty, hollow reason that Ron Rivera has put out there. He was benched because Ron Rivera lost his job last year when Haskins beat him. Petty as fuck. Now, that's probably not true. But Rivera came in immediately and said, "Oh, we had a 5th round grade on him, blah blah blah." Like, that's why he was benched. Not because of his play, not because of his actions as a teammate, blah blah blah. The dude's fucking young. He's made mistakes, but guess who else has fucking made mistakes in their career? About fucking 90% of professional athletes, right? Like, it is what it is. Brady had a kid out of fucking wedlock and cheated on his girlfriend to conceive that child, right? Nobody blew that out of proportion because the dude was winning Super Bowls. So, to me,
yeah. Well, in the meantime, Brady also still he kisses his son in the mouth for prolonged periods of time. So
valid. But I mean, so to kind of circle back, Stove, you're absolutely right? Why wasn't the captaincy stripped when he was a bad teammate? Supposedly, reportedly, allegedly. I don't buy it. I don't buy much of what Ron has put out about Haskins all year because I see a lot of the local media and their coverage of the team, and it just doesn't support that. It doesn't support what Ron's saying. So I I don't buy it. I think his captaincy was stripped this week because there was something public, and it gave Ron the opportunity to do it.
He finally had an excuse.
They've sabotaged him, taken knees at the end of the first half against Philly, and they probably would have done the same thing in the second half against Philly if Haskins hadn't led a comeback, right? Aided by the defense. But I watched for 4 games an ill-prepared offense, taking knees, not calling timeouts, just wanting games to be over, and it felt like to me they were sabotaging. I stand by that statement.
Okay.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ron.
Yeah.
R to the O-N.
I'm out on Haskins with the whole strip club after the loss, though. He walked off the field.
We finally got to see an actual fuck Haskins rant. An actual fuck Haskins.
If I'm Haskins, though, I'm trying to see some titties, too.
No, because, listen, you're a guy who got benched in week 4, right? You finally have an opportunity to come back and start for the team. You play well in the second half. Right. In the first half, they were, again, poorly coached. But in the second half, when he was allowed to just let the ball rip, suddenly the offense is really threatening fucking all 3 levels of the defense. Surprise, fucking surprise, Scott, you fucking cunt. And then you fall short with an opportunity to win the game late. Morgan Moses.
That was so aggressive. That was so aggressive.
Like, Morgan Moses, what the fuck are you doing back in the game? Yeah. You can't block anybody. You give up 3 straight blocks. End the game on the fact that you can't fucking stand in front of a defensive lineman. And then Haskins is walking off the field dejected. Chase Young comes and gets him. Chase Young, again, exerting himself as a leader of the team as a fucking rookie. And then you find yourself in a fucking strip club. I don't care if you had COVID earlier in the season and you've got the antibodies and you're not at risk. You're putting your entire team at risk, for 1. And 2, you just lost a fucking football game. Get in the fucking film room.
Those 2 guys from the same school. Chase Young is more of a leader than Haskins. And Haskins is what, year 2, 3?
Yeah.
No, my whole thing is, though.
I'm out now, though. I'm out on Haskins. I published Facebook official. I published my first true fuck Haskins, because that shit to me is inexcusable. You don't go to the strip club after a loss. Period.
So my argument would be this, and this is why I'm also in on Haskins, is because
you like,
bro, I like titties. I do.
You're an absolute piece of shit. You know that. All right, so we got to keep moving, fellas. Patriots, Dolphins, 12-22, and the fucking Dolphins beat the shit out of the Patriots. 10-point lead. Dolphins move to 9-5.
Nothing to see here, folks. Cam Newton, not the answer. Billy Belly, not the answer.
Billy,
Dolphins,
not the Dolphins
got the defense going.
He said Bill Belly, not the
Billy
answer.
Belly.
Yo, we're not going to speed past that. Like, you didn't just fucking call the greatest football coach of all time. Not the answer.
Yo, he may be the GOAT, but he ain't the fucking answer.
He ain't the answer.
Yo, that is
not for this shit. Listen,
so wild.
He's the type of dude who's so set in his fucking ways, and his ways have been Tom fucking Brady. And now that it's
he's on some back in my day shit.
What's he gonna do now, though? Like, where's he gonna go? Listen, I refuse. Like, I don't think Cam Newton is great, but I refuse to believe that Cam Newton is this shit sorry. Like, he's not this sorry, is he? Is Cam Newton this bad? Like, is that where we're at? Is he this bad?
I think he is.
He is.
Yeah,
I think he is.
This bad.
He's done. Yeah, he's not going to get any better. I don't care what offense you put him at. He's not getting any better.
Well,
okay.
I think the better question to ask is, what team right now in the NFL would he succeed in? Like, what team could he go to? What offense could he go to and succeed?
I don't know. I mean, I'm
Stove, can you think of one? I mean, I think you and I are in agreement already to begin with. But
the only team I can think of that he would be decent at might be the Saints.
Okay. Yeah.
I think just the way
I actually initially thought Dallas, assuming, like, under the assumption that our offensive line is what they should be. and not what they are right now. Like what
I just don't. I don't think he can throw the ball anymore, and he can run. I'll give him credit where he can run. I just don't think he can pass like he used to. And the way Sean Payton has worked with Breeze, I mean, this year alone, Breeze hasn't thrown the long ball. I mean, let's face it. And then with the injury, and then you have Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. I mean, I think that would be,
Gary's camera's on an acid trip.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Newton would be best served in the Peyton or in Sean Payton's offense if I were to pick a team.
And that's completely fair. I mean, I could definitely see that. I say Dallas just because I feel like the offensive line, again, with everybody healthy on the Dallas offensive line, there's not many quarterbacks that wouldn't succeed. But Gary Free Sr. says Cam has fallen, it appears. And I agree 100%. I mean, he's definitely not the quarterback he was. I think he is prematurely on the back nine. Gary, you're making all kind of, I can't tell if you're stroking out. It could be the camera. I'm assuming that, blink twice if you're having a stroke. What are your thoughts on this situation with the Cam Newton situation specifically in New England?
Yeah, Cam is not a good quarterback. I think even in his MVP season, he was quite a bit overrated. I think he won the MVP because that defense was so good and they went 15-1. Looking at his stats, he was like the 6th or 7th best quarterback in the league during that season. So I think he has fallen, but I don't think he's fallen very far off of what Cam Newton is, right? He's a playmaker. He's a baller. He's a big guy. He can run the ball. He can throw it, but he needs guys that can make plays for him. He had Steve Smith. He had Greg Olsen, and they brought some other guys in, Calvin Benjamin, etc. Cam is still what I've always, at least in my eyes, Cam is still always what I thought he was. He's
Remember when Calvin Benjamin wasn't a fat shit dummy?
Yeah, he was good, man, in Carolina, and he bailed Cam out on a lot of throws.
Again, so aggressive for no goddamn reason. What did
I don't think
Calvin Benjamin do to you?
Well, he fucked me in fantasy once. So,
dude,
that's all it takes.
I caught him in his prime, so he did absolutely nothing wrong with me. Listen,
I had Buffalo Bills, Calvin Benjamin.
Ooh.
So you had fucking Krispy Kreme, Calvin Benjamin.
Right, I had fucking tight end, like
you had right tackle.
Yeah, that obese Benny. That killer Kel. Jaguars, Ravens, and the Ravens basically commit a fucking hate crime on the Jaguars, 14-40, and the Jaguars move to a stunning 1-13.
And they move into the number one chance for
old sunshine himself, Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
Man. And
so them losing's not even the biggest deal. I mean, it actually had to play into it, but the Jets,
they win.
The Jets lose, and that really just catapults them into like exactly where they want to be because, Porn Stash isn't going to get it done. I mean, they've got a run game. They don't have a defense. Isn't it crazy? Like the NFL's nuts to me sometimes because Jacksonville a couple of years ago had like one of the best defenses in the league, if not.
Took them to the AFC title game,
and now they're terrible. I mean, it's
when you let Calais Campbell go and you trade away Jalen Ramsey and you trade away Dante Fowler, on down the line.
It's just wild to watch the dominoes fall so quickly. But yeah, I mean, they're now they're in the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes, and the Ravens. Obviously, it's huge for the Ravens because 2 weeks ago the Ravens were at a point where if the playoffs started today, they weren't even a part of it. So
right.
I think the big winner from the Jets winning that game and the Jaguars moving into first place for the number one pick is actually the big winner is the team that's going to trade for Trevor Lawrence in about 3.5 years.
It's going to be the same team either way, though, right?
Oh, damn. We're talking about the long con here, then.
They ain't fucking paying anybody. Jesus Christ.
Oh, who, the Jags you're talking about? Right. No, they won't. And actually that has merit because the Jets probably would. The Jags won't because, what the fuck just happened?
We lose Stove?
Did we lose Stove?
I think we lost him.
He got tired of this shit. He got fucking tired of all of us.
He got tired of it.
No, it's
he was
not
messing
hard.
around with the backdrop. I don't know if he left.
I tried to switch the tape.
Either way, Ravens got a much understood
there he
fucking
is.
We got him back.
He still
welcome
likes
back. All right. Yeah. I was like, damn, we just haven't been
crank
talk.
that fireplace back
tired of
up.
our shit.
Right.
Got the Yule log going again. Jets Rams 23-20, and the fucking Jets beat the Rams, doing the most Jets thing possible and taking themselves out of contention for Sunshine himself. Stove, I'm gonna go to you since all three of us are fucking babbling on. Stove, what's the reason for pulling off a win here and moving to 1-13?
JETS. Jets.
Let's go.
Rams laid an egg on this one, a big one. And we've talked about it.
It was a fucking ostrich egg, dude.
A big egg. But we talked about it a couple times. The Rams, they're kind of like the Raiders, where you don't know which Jared Goff you're going to get. You don't know what Rams team you're going to get.
Excellent comparison.
You saw the frustration of Aaron Donald walking off the field after that loss. He was pissed. Like he walked over. He didn't walk over. He stormed over to the sideline, threw his helmet down. I mean, you could just see the anger of losing to the New York Jets, a winless team coached by Adam Gase and quarterback by Sam Darnold.
Okay, Stove, I don't think I've ever asked you this. I know, dude, Gary doing the absolute best impression of Coach Gase. Andy,
he copied me. I did it first. Watch the playback.
Andy, my bad, dog. My bad. I didn't catch that. I would have given credit. My bad.
I was just playing the same game.
Dude, all three of us should have done it. But Stove, I'm going to ask you just because I've already asked Gary and Andy, and I know. What the fuck are the Jets thinking by – I mean, you're basically torching this whole Le'Veon Bell situation, but you're keeping – like Adam Gase is the one guy you're holding on to. What is going – is this another example of like back office culture being the problem or being the major source of the toxicity inside of that organization? Like, what the fuck is going on inside of the Jets organization where they think that Adam Gase is the guy? Oh, my God.
To be honest with you, I have no idea what the New York Jets organization is doing up there. I really don't.
The fucking banners.
I thought they should have fired Gase after 0-5, 0-6, maybe 0-7, maybe. But if it got to 0-7,
and we all said the same shit. Agreed.
Fire him.
Why the fuck did they hire him?
Yeah,
Peyton Manning. That's his only fallback is he coached Peyton Manning in Denver. That's how he got the job in Miami. That's how he got the job in New York. I mean,
don't we think the Miami job should have sealed his fucking fate? Like King Tut fucking
everyone gets a second, third chance in the NFL.
Oh, well, here's something interesting.
And if you're Josh Gordon, you get like 17 chances.
Yeah, and then you blow them all.
But that's why you keep it light, dude. You keep it
keep it lit.
You keep with it exactly. You keep it light. Keep it lit.
NFL, take a fucking page from the NBA, please.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Adam Silver is the best.
Jesus,
the best sports commissioner to ever have
existed.
Even
when it wasn't Adam Silver, though, like you were looking at it like years ago in the NBA. You were looking at like a 3-game suspension for your second failed test out of 82 fucking games. And the NFL, they will kill your career over one failed test. Like it doesn't make sense. It's weed, bud.
Yeah.
So
what benefit is coming out of
the Peyton Manning thing? And in about week 6 or 7, something midway point of the season, I was listening to Boomer Esiason. He's got a show. It's Boomer and somebody, and I forget the other guy's name, but they're talking, right? Boomer. Yeah, exactly. so they're talking, right? And Boomer's fucking co-host is like, how the fuck does Adam Gase have a job as an NFL head coach, right? And Boomer Esiason is defending this motherfucker. Like, he's got the endorsement of Peyton Manning. I'm taking Peyton Manning's word for it. If Adam Gase is a good coach and Peyton Manning says so, I'm going to fucking take that as gospel. Like, what? I'm glad Boomer Esiason doesn't run my franchise, because I can tell you right now, 99% of the fucking population realizes that Adam Gase is not a good head coach. Peyton Manning's word is fucking gospel? Get the fuck out of here.
I agree with you, Gary.
How is it that he still has a job? Stove. Like, how? In what world? Like,
the Jets are a franchise that won't fire a head coach mid-season, though. So they may have already made their decision.
They're just letting it play through.
Okay, so then let's make it too early. Let's make a too early choice right now. Right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and make a prediction, a too early prediction, if you will. Is Adam Gase going to coach the New York Jets next year? No? Okay, good. And rightfully so. I mean, nobody should agree. Nobody should say that he should, but I feel like the Jets are very closely approaching this whole like glutton for punishment thing, where they're just going to fucking keep him for another year.
Here's a situation that the Jets are going to run into, though, right? When you choose to wait until the end of the season to fire your coach, you're just putting off the ability to start identifying candidates, because you're not allowed, because of tampering and NFL restrictions, you're not allowed to start a head coaching search until you fire your current head coach. And the Jets just continue to shoot themselves in the foot on that and get what's left on the scrap heap.
Stove.
Okay, so let me present this question to you guys. Okay. And it's a bold, out there question. But I think, it goes along the lines with the Bears. Okay. The Bears started winning again once they put Trubisky back in. And we talked about, since they've been winning, head coach there, I can't think of his name right now, Matt Nagy, is going to keep his job because they are starting to win. So now, given the circumstances up in New York, Jets just won their first game. They have the Browns this week. It's a tall order here. Tall order. But if they somehow pull off the upset, win against the Browns, and then they have the Cam Newton, Bill Belly Patriots in week 17 and pull off that victory, Adam Gase have a job next year?
Oh, if I'm a Jets fan, I fucking
he does, dude. He does. And that is because the fucking Jets, 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 dude. It is fucking happening. I'm so glad Stoke throw that.
Don't fall victim to the Baskin Robbins flavor of the week, man.
Oh, no, I think the point is that the Jets are incompetent, so they're going to make moves.
Which probably the Jets things to do.
Right. They're goofy. Hey, guys. So if you're goofy, you make goofy moves, and that's a goofy move.
Right. You're right. Look, I think he just needs to go ahead and just embrace his love for the psychedelics, clearly, and he needs to do it on his way out of the fucking NFL. So, Eagles-Cardinals 26-33. Cardinals take the win at home. And to no one's surprise, look, it's good to see Jalen Hurts getting the opportunity to take snap. Kyler Murray and D-Hop, I feel like Kyler had a moment where he was maybe a little battered, maybe by an underperforming offensive line and maybe underperformed a little bit as a result of it. I've always been really curious about just kind of that Cliff Kingsbury, Kyler Murray connection, just because of the, the whole Big 12 connection, whatever. But anyways, here they are at 26-33. and the Cards pull it off. They moved to 8-6. Eagles moved to 4-9-1. So, is there any takeaways from this? Like, is there anything productive that we can walk away from this game saying that, like, hey, I learned this from this game?
Well, I mean, we have learned something I guess we've already known is when it comes down to the game for the Cardinals, you put the ball in D-Hop's hands to win. And then, Jalen Hurts has showed us something.
That's nothing new.
And I don't know if the Jalen Hurts thing is going to be more of the same of what we talked about earlier with not having film on young quarterbacks. The jury will be out on that until it's
right.
It's come back.
And we've seen that time and time again. Let's see if that sophomore slump becomes a problem next season. But as far as this season goes, it's a solid move. So the games, actually the last 3 games are the only ones that I really have wanted to talk about, and that is the Chiefs Saints. So 32-29, Chiefs pull it off in New Orleans in the Superdome. 32-29, 3-point victory, and the Chiefs moved to 13-1, all but solidifying their place in the AFC for a shot at yet another Super Bowl championship. So, looking at Drew Brees and the Saints, is there any concern about their ability to close this game out?
Well, Brees came back and threw 3 touchdowns, so that's promising, right? I mean,
right, but again, he still had to come back to get there.
Right, but he hasn't played in a few weeks, so he threw some touchdowns. That's good. The thing I've seen the most this week that I don't like is people kind of giving the Steelers treatment to the Chiefs for barely winning. And I don't like that because Vin Diesel in the Fast and the Furious said it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is fucking winning, right? So in the NFL,
Dynamite drop in there. Dynamite drop in.
I mean,
I know.
If you're winning, you're winning, and it's not like the Chiefs are. It's not like they won a 3-point game against the Jags. They beat the fucking Saints. So,
yeah, but the Saints had a lot that they did wrong in that game.
But I mean, we've seen this like 3 times now with the Chiefs. They barely win a game. Like, what was the game? Shit, the Broncos game.
Yep.
We watched the Chiefs go their first 4 drives, I think it was. They get in the red zone, and they get field goals.
How much of that do you think
everybody's
was?
saying the Chiefs look beatable, but it's any given Sunday, and they win the game. And in the playoffs, I have to believe that Mahomes puts that in. And
but that's the thing, though. It's not any given Sunday. In a situation with the Chiefs and the Broncos, this isn't one of those things where they're like, oh, we got to come back and win this now. This is just like, okay, we kind of underestimated our opponent, and now we do have to come back and win this. But there was never really anything as far as question as their ability to win this. Now, I think Gary talked about it earlier, but Pat Mahomes has had kind of a shakier season than we've seen in past, for sure. No doubt. Definitely, in my opinion, taken him out of contention for MVP. But did anybody?
No way.
You don't think so?
Not at all.
Man, I don't know. I feel like
passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
No, the stats are there, no doubt. The stats are there.
And the best record in the league.
Okay, so let's look at going into that game, Chiefs Saints. Did you think that the Saints were going to win?
No, I thought the Chiefs were going to win.
Okay, did you think it was going to be close, or did you think it was going to be a clear-cut victory?
No, I thought it was going to be close. Drew Brees was back.
Okay.
The Saints were a good team without Drew Brees. Right? So why wouldn't they be a good team with Drew Brees?
The Saints were a above-average team without Drew Brees.
How many games did they win with Taysom Hill?
But let's not sit there. Yeah, but let's not sit there and fucking pretend like they're going to win a Super Bowl without Drew Brees. It's not going to happen.
Oh no, probably not.
Right.
I'm going with Gary's take here on the Saints. The Saints looked sluggish. They looked slow. In the same aspect, I'm throwing that on the Chiefs as well. I really didn't think the Chiefs played to their full potential against the Saints. I thought both teams were slow. They missed a lot of passes, drop passes. Obviously Hilaire hurt. He's out. But I really didn't think that the Chiefs really played to their full potential against a very good Saints team with Drew Brees, and I think that's how it was closer. To me personally, I thought the Chiefs were going to win by at least 14 in that game. But like I said, the Chiefs, I think, kind of threw it away a little bit on a lot of miscues and a lot of drop passes, stuff like that. But they did come out of there with the victory, so that's all that matters in the end.
Right. Just win, baby. Just win.
Exactly. Just win, and they did.
With Taysom Hill.
Right.
But they weren't a great team with Taysom Hill.
Nobody said they
really beat the Falcons. I mean, they weren't a good team with Taysom Hill.
Well, and that's just
what was their record?
My point that they're
right, but they played the Falcons, the Broncos, the Falcons, and the Eagles.
Doesn't matter. It's the NFL.
It does. It really does.
No, it does not matter. Any given fucking Sunday.
Okay, well, put them up against the fucking Seahawks and keep talking that same shit. It's not going to happen.
It does matter. They don't beat the fucking trash bag Falcons twice, the dumpster fire Broncos, and the fucking Eagles starting a rookie quarterback.
My God, they didn't even have a quarterback
to the fucking Eagles. It does matter.
No,
it does matter.
Who's win? No, it doesn't matter.
It does.
We seem to forget what winning means. Winning means that you've won the game.
Sure, they won, but they
correct
didn't beat anybody.
You lost, Gary. No. Gary, don't do that. I'm not trying to get into some like poetic, metaphorical bullshit. I'm all set.
They weren't a great team with Taysom Hill.
The only thing that matters at the end is the fucking scoreboard. Browns, Giants.
The word great.
And speaking,
nobody said great.
Hey,
you're the only one that said the word great. You're the only one that's used the word great.
You just said they were great.
No, I did not. You just said it, and then you rinsed and repeated 3 times.
This is what happens when we go 2 hours into a fucking episode. Browns, Giants.
No. I said they won with
6. Okay. 20-6. The Browns beat the fucking Giants, and good for the Browns. Baker Mayfield, that whole chemistry going on in Cleveland, pulling it off against a lackluster Giants team. Danny Dimes not being more Danny, less Dimes.
Just win.
Just win.
Just win.
Just fucking win. Stove. What are your thoughts on this Browns Giants matchup? Is Baker Mayfield, does he finally have Cleveland in a position where they may be able to make a solid run in the playoffs? Or
definitely. I think Mayfield's definitely progressed from last year, and you can see that in his reads, his overall football IQ at the scrimmage, his decision making when passing. He's throwing the ball well down the field. He's making those check downs and everything else. I think Mayfield has the Browns in a position to go deep in a playoff run, especially the way the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing right now. So really not much out of this game other than you could see the maturation, whatever, of Baker Mayfield keep on progressing through the season.
Maturity, yes.
Sure.
Sure. No, for sure. We've definitely seen the progress of Baker Mayfield, which is cool. And, again, not trying to give any Okie any kind of credit. However, Baker's doing fucking great. I really love that Baker-Jarvis Landry chemistry, man. It is so good and clutch at times. It's really it's fucking fun to watch. Cleveland, their fan base has fucking deserved this for so long, man. And good for them. to finally see the Browns move to 10-4 and the Giants, whatever. In my opinion, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Longhorns fan, I'm saying the fucking Colt McCoy should have stayed behind center for the duration of the season because Danny Dimes ain't it. He fucking ain't it. Andy, Gary, do you guys have any comments on that?
Just win.
Just
really?
win.
I mean, really, because we're going to dig into it. Who have the Browns played?
Fair. No, and that's an excellent point. So
a far worse schedule.
Let's avoid digging into this. So before we close it out,
maybe the worst schedule of any winning team in the NFL.
Well, except for the fucking Steelers. So let's calm down. I mean, the Steelers have had a cush ass schedule.
Same schedule.
So, yeah, but you say same schedule, but the Browns have not been in Super Bowl talks, whereas the Steelers have been. So let's go to the most important part of our show, and then we will close out with the Steelers-Bengals game because I'm looking forward to getting into that. So 69 episodes straight for those of you guys who are new to the show. We dedicate every episode to a fallen. We dedicate every episode to a fallen service member, and this episode 69 is going to be dedicated to Army Captain Seth Vernon Van de Kamp, who passed away November 12th, 2020, serving during Operation Task Force Sinai. He was 31 years old, of Katy, Texas, and he passed away in a helicopter crash while on a peacekeeping mission on Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. He was an Army doctor assigned to a medical company under Task Force Sinai. And he was also, unfortunately, accompanied by Chief Warrant Officer 3 Dallas Garza, Chief Warrant Officer 2 Marwan Garbor, Staff Sergeant Kyle McKee, and Sergeant Jeremy Sherman on board that Black Hawk. And he, Army Captain Van de Kamp, joined the Army after graduating A.T. Still University Medical School in 2017, and it was his first overseas assignment, arriving in Egypt just a month prior. So, Army Captain Seth Van de Kamp, we have the watch, brother. Rest in peace. That's a tough go. Your first go around downrange, and it happens to be your last. Aaron Altos with the, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I'll be honest, I don't care, but I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. With the cheers emoji. Althaus?
Althaus? Just
Althaus. I'm thinking, like, I'm trying to channel my German. Althaus.
Like Alphas.
Yeah.
I want it to be Althaus, though.
Yeah, Althaus. Anyways, cheers, brother.
It's gotta be all this.
Probably Althaus.
Yeah. So let's get to the shit show of the week.
Yes.
Oh, it is Althaus.
Yes. I love it. Yes.
That's awesome.
Hey, Althaus.
Favorite person.
Hey, I'm gonna do a separate toast just for you.
We're toasting to Althaus.
Right here, Althaus.
Yes.
Shout out Gary for getting it right on the first try. Good job,
That's
buddy.
I wanted it to be.
I'm proud of you. You're a good trier, Gary. So listen, the Steelers get handed their third loss of the season, 17-27
in a row. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
And the fucking Steelers proved that they may be overrated.
Right.
Which we have reviewed and discussed their schedule in detail. We have reviewed and discussed that these next few weeks could be difficult. But I think all of us probably could have agreed a few weeks ago that the Bengals were not going to be a source. We're not one of those losses, and the fucking Bengals without the Tiger King himself,
Burrowless Bengals.
The Burrowless Bengals have a 2-possession win. This isn't a fucking game-time field goal. This isn't a game-winning field goal. This is a 2-possession win over the Steelers.
I mean,
And Juju dancing on the logo, Mike Tomlin's choosing now to address it against the Seahawks.
With player or teams that
suddenly it's about disrespect.
Had no business lose. I mean, the Jets win, the Bengals win, games they had no business winning. I'm going to keep my end short. The only thing I want to address the logo dancing and how fucking completely thin-skinned
I need to hear
you have
this.
to be upset about that. Like, if dancing on a logo as a player, a coach, a fan, if that upsets you, you are one. You remember in like grade school when you put Elmer's glue on your hands and you got that little skin? That's how thin your fucking skin is. Like, you are.
So
You are bullshit.
We are devout. We are very devout in our ability to talk shit. Yeah, we're completely devout in our ability to talk shit. However, and we are also devout in our stance in that we are not political. However, that is the most snowflake shit.
It is.
I mean, when I think of stereotypical snowflakes, there they are in Seattle, crying about the man dancing on their fucking logo.
I mean, and furthermore, if you're the player who's going to dance, whether it be like a Terrell Owens did shit like that, if you're going to be the guy who
Cinco did it,
if you think that that's like the best fucking flex you have, you're stupid. But as the player doing that, if you're pissing the team off to an effect where to an extent where it's affecting them, you're winning the mental game. However,
I am dancing on every logo I can find.
Like, that's the dumbest fucking thing. Like, dude,
every single one.
Spray painted grass, bro.
Right.
Like, I could give a shit less.
You know what I mean? This is AI.
And I would be eating fucking Doritos in the fucking on the bench. I don't give a shit. Look at this idiot dancing on the logo.
If I'm Juju in a post game where I get questioned about the offensiveness of dancing on the logo, I'm on some AI shit. I mean, we talk about practice. We talk about practice.
Not a game.
We're not talking not a game. Not a game. We're talking about practice.
But that's my thing, because it's been eating me up, because I've been in a couple of arguments with people. Like, people are like, it's the same thing I see like when people disrespect the flag. And I'm like, no, it's not.
No, it's not. No, it's really not.
The idea is similar, but like the magnitude is so fucking different. Like,
Legion of
know what disrespecting the flag means.
Well, right, because the people who hate disrespecting the flag have a thin blue line flag or some shit like that to that effect too, which
actually violates the U.S. flag code.
But however, what I'm saying is
American flag thongs they wear on 4th of July.
Nerds.
I liken. My last comment is I will liken the dancing on the logo thing similar to, and Gary, you pitched, crossing the pitcher's mound as a base runner. Gary's gonna hate it. He's gonna be like, "Fuck these motherfuckers."
No, I never cared.
I don't understand. Like,
I'm aware of the unwritten rules. I didn't care about people.
I like that though. Yeah, no,
the only one I ever followed was I didn't step on the foul line.
To me, if you let yourself get worked up about that shit, you're playing right into the hand of the person, committing to that thing. So yeah,
the only things I ever got mad about unwritten rules, I'm with you, Flint. Like, I don't understand why people are so upset about it. Like the TO on the star thing when he was in San Francisco, right? Like, that was a big deal. Darren Woodson went and tackled him. I understand to a certain extent having territorial feelings about, like, this is our house, right? But getting upset about dancing on a logo, if it's something that motivates you in the locker room, sure, fine. My biggest
I'm
thing
just saying that if the fucking Steelers lose, this is not a big deal.
if they win.
If they win.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah,
if they win, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, and that's my point, right? And that was my point of the post that I put on our page too. Is right, like Tomlin didn't give a fuck when they were 11-0. Go ahead, Juju. Everybody on Instagram needs to see how fucking cool you are, right? We're winning. We're 11-0. We're threatening the 72 Dolphins. Nobody fucking believed they were going to threaten the 72 Dolphins. Shout out to LaDainian Tomlinson, who went on record and said the Steelers could go 16-0 and still not be the best team in the NFL. Bingo. Nailed it. Because
shout out understanding the schedule.
They're not even the best team in their own fucking division.
Correct.
But here's
unpopular
kind of
opinion, but correct
approach to this whole thing, right? I understand Andy's argument. It doesn't fucking matter, right? It doesn't, because it's just painted grass. But I also understand from the other side of don't disrespect what I hold near and dear, right? That could be a million things. It could be my front lawn, right? Everybody wants Raul, you said get off my lawn 100 times when I've bitched about things. It could be a million different things, right? Whatever it is that you hold near and dear, that's fine. And if you in your locker room find motivation in the fact that Juju danced on your logo, fine. My biggest hang up in this whole thing is Mike Tomlin now coming out and saying, "Yeah, I'm going to talk to Juju. It's a big deal. It's not about wins and losses."
And also, Juju's not going to do it anymore. He said,
"Yeah, now Juju's not."
I don't know if you saw that.
And that in and
But
of itself is
you.
cuck shit. That is cuck shit.
Fuck you, Mike Tomlin. I'm going to use the word again, you cunt, because this is bullshit.
Yo, Stove, did you fucking mute him, you son of a bitch?
TV timeout there, Santa's little helper.
But seriously,
we need that every week because it made it seem like he said way worse shit than he probably actually said.
He straight threw out the hard R.
Like, when the Bills and the Bengals come out and say this gave us motivation and now you care, get out of here. Get out of here.
So
no,
two parts here. And first part, unwritten rules. That's a topic for another day. I mean, we could dive into that another day. Second part here, the logo, the dancing on the logo. Who gives a flying fuck if it's at the 50-yard line?
Who
cares?
Thank you.
The only logo that you care about them dancing on is if they score in the other end zone. That's the only logo you should be fucking caring about. Not the logo at the 50-yard line, because what does that get you? It doesn't get you jack shit. It doesn't get you 3 points. It doesn't get you 6 points. It doesn't get you 2 points. You care about the logo at the end of the field. That's period. End of story. That's the only logos you should be caring about, period.
And on that note, I will fucking toast and end this episode with some fucking gang.
Thank you, Stove. I appreciate it.
We need
exactly my feeling. We get mad about a guy dancing on a logo more so than we get pissed about somebody scoring on us.
Exactly.
It's cuck shit. That's what it is.
It is cuck shit.
Do not be in your feelings about somebody dancing on your logo. What you do instead is you fucking wax that ass and you make fun of him afterwards. And if you don't, then he deserved to dance on your fucking logo.
For the record, I've never understood when NBA players get super fucking pissed off when an opposing player dunks on them at the end of the game when the game's over.
Yeah, also.
If the clock is running, the fucking clock is running, bud.
And we don't have enough time.
I don't care if you fucking shoot a 2 or do a fucking 360 windmill.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You look silly. Not me.
And I feel like that's an unpopular opinion too.
It is. Which is weird.
And it goes into the unwritten rules that we can definitely have that conversation at another time.
With a no-hitter.
American,
for sure.
We as a people are soft as shit.
I tell you,
baby shit.
Baseball.
No, we're not.
Fucking
We're not.
book of unwritten rules.
Well, we're not,
Sometimes,
obviously, but like,
look, all I'm saying is that probably 80 to 90% of the people that watch these sports that we talk about are fucking 10 ply.
they're
That's all
one
I'm saying.
ply.
They're fucking 10 ply, bud. They're so soft.
As church music.
They are
As
one ply.
fucking-
They are one ply middle finger into the asshole soft.
Oh, dude. That's, again, so aggressive.
Yep.
With that being said, listen. My name is Raul Herrera. I got Gary Freeze with me, also known as Santa's Little Helper. I've got Andy Flint right there.
Merry Christmas.
And then over here, I've got Big Stove, the new
Merry
edition.
Christmas, you guys. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas. Happy holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. However, my name, Raul Herrera, Backyard Sports, Backyard Blitz, episode 6-9 in the books. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we are out.